What's up, Buttercup? How you guys doing? Welcome to the inside of my camper. Um, I freaking love this thing. I tell you what. But today we're not focusing on the camper. We're focusing on some another love of mine, maybe my first love. Shoes. uh, Today we're talking about the great boot versus shoe debate in the hiking community and how I believe I've cracked the code into that mystery for a number of reasons. But I digress. I actually think there is a tool for every job, and depending on what you're doing out there in the outdoors, how long you're going for, and the pace at which you're going, like I said, there's a tool for every job. But my intention for this particular pair was to combine aspects of a shoe and aspects of a boot that I found beneficial for my intention, which was to be able to get 100 miles out of these bad boys. This is the first shoe project I've tackled in quite some time. And honestly, I am so pleased. I think I smashed it out of the park for reals. But also, other intentions I had for it was, like I said, to get 100 miles, for it to be rock and pebble proof, which is why I added this collar. You can see, and that fits. I actually stole that from a soccer shoe, in order for it to fit like a sock that wraps around your ankle. To prevent those pinche pebbles from getting in there, because that's friggin' annoying when you're hiking and you have to constantly take off your pack to take stuff out of your shoe. So check 100 miles waterproof, well, proof, but then the third one is waterproof. Um, I added a Gore-Tex liner, which I don't think I'd be able to pull it out or invert it for you guys. Hold on. Yeah, no, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. It's freaking annoying. Um, but I added a Gore-Tex liner in order to help keep my feet from getting all soggy. And also, the fourth one is breathability, which is why I provided these little windows on the outside and the inside of the shoe to aerate, because it's pretty much impossible. Like, again, depending on where you're at, you can't avoid puddles, you can't avoid muck and mud and all that. It's just a part of being out there. And so, with the Gore-Tex liner and these windows, the German concept of luften, which is opening up your windows to air out your home daily. What was that? To air out your home daily. That's kind of what I was aiming for with these. Is like, whenever this shoe gets soggy and wet, it still has the ability to dry out. And leather is fantastic for being able to go through those cycles of getting wet, drying out, getting wet, drying out. You do have to treat it, and upkeep it with oil, leather food, but it is the supreme material, in my opinion, for any sport activity, especially hiking, which is the quality of the boot I really wanted to incorporate, was that leather aspect. But I did really love how shoes are developing with thicker soles and more cushion. Like, I wanted it to be a comfy ride. My pace for these was just roly poly, slow poke type of pace. I wanted to cruise. These are cruisers, man. Not trying to set any records by any means. Uh, like I said, this is my first shoe project in a while, and also coincides with me getting back into hiking. I've been injured and haven't had time to get out there on the trail. And so while I was in my downtime, I needed something to do, and I needed to add some flavor into my life and take a moment away from working on the camper and work on other projects that inspired me, you know? And yeah, like I said, I freaking think I knocked it out of the park with this, not to pat myself on the back too much, but um where's I going with all that? Just like magic, just like magic. Everything I want, I attracted. Just like magic. Just like magic. I don't know, man. I'm enamored. I'm enamored by myself right now. uh, but for real, I'm so happy to have worked on this project. So without further ado, let's get into it.